these Ubers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed, car moving through these Ubers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Bigger the bag, bigger the beef.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And a good effort on the return there gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. Back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Here's Johnson. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
They'll run it with Johnson. Oh, he's got a little daylight. 20. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. Well, we've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got it 1st and goal at the 7. They'll set up a throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. in for the score. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. This is a crew. They've come out flat their last two games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really haven't. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. Just get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
On second down, Rosen. And that is incomplete. The tight end, C.J. Uzomah, the intended receiver. And it's third down. Well, you got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Detroit! Detroit! Hot!
On third down, Rosen. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 33. Nice move at the 40. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
They go play action here on first down. It's caught inside the 25. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 36 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll set up to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. He'll look to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They come up in an offset eye. He'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Kerryon Johnson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. Gold with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Gold now out to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run again on 1st down. Cook finding some room at midfield. And finally down at the 36-yard line. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards. Well, this is the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Runs like that might get him another award.
Yeah, Thunderbolt right out of the gate, huh? How about that, hitting the defense hard early? And, of course, carrying the momentum from last week into this week's game.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got it 2nd and 6 to start things out. Play fake. Here's Rosen. Looking deep for his tight end. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Zach Ertz, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
On play action, they'll throw. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground. They were looking for Johnson that time. That'll bring up 2nd down. Now a first carry for Donnell Pumphrey. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Going up top. He rifles one that's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Gun! 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 All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. Lets it fly for Thielen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there and sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
The Lions on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and a mile. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. From midfield now, here's Rosen. On the move to his left. And this is incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. Past the 20. A big play there out of Cook. 49 yards. So close. Couldn't get all the way in, knocking on the doorstep down to the one. Nevertheless, fantastic run.
Not only that, this is where you wave to your replacement, go back to the bench. No way. I'm not coming out of this game. I got it down to the 1-yard line. I want to carry it in.
We'll see if they reward him on this next play. They'll run for it with Cook. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
He's going to get it running right. Oh, the spin. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And that is incomplete.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they, when they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown, and this one they help force another incompletion.
Carlson able to put this one through. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Spins past it. And now running right through it. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Watch him now, Barney!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Going for the deep ball. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
On 1st down, it's Rosen. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Thought he had the pick. Flag comes in for PI, so cancel it out.
Interference. Oh, a killer for them. Thought they had a nice play. Instead, they'll be marching off yardage against them.
Throwing now, Rosen on first down. He's going to go up top for the end zone. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Second and 10 now. It's Rosen. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long.
Hey. You got three. Three down. Check. Go back. We got motion. Back up. Over. All right, now, lucky 56.
Third and long here for Rosen. And he's got his man. It's Darbo. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. The kick by Carlson is good. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Gold now out to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there, just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. Escaping the pressure right. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off near the 34. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They start the drive with Cook. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. They run it again with Cook. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Detroit!
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
To throw is Rosen. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now Rosen on 1st down. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Frank Clark in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Well, it looks like they caught him off guard on 2nd and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for them. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on 3rd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Rosen. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, this from 46. Carlson able to put this one through. And with that, the lead changes hands here in this 3rd quarter. It's his 3rd field goal now with the ball game, and they've needed his leg. This last one gives him the lead.
It's been a back-and-forth kind of a game, hasn't it? Now you got to tell your defense, guys, need you to make this stand up because we got the momentum going in the right direction, but we need you to make sure we carry it home.
That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at...
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Flushed out right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
This quarterback now has hit on 7 of 17 passes, just 41%, but it's 1st and 10. Incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They're going to look to throw. Now the ball comes loose, and this belongs to the Vikings. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well, so now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback. But not him.
You're exactly right, because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well, because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Detroit! Detroit!
Following the fumble recovery, it's Rosen. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Detroit! Detroit!
2nd and 10. It's Rosen again. And that's incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
They'll try and throw forward with Rosen. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. The Vikings unable to convert here on fourth. And it'll be a turnover on downs. They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Back to throw here. Steps away. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this third quarter of play. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a good one so far, just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. He'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
See, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there or the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. And Gold is able to put it through. And with that, they have taken the lead by a point here in the fourth. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score? The touchdown and seal this thing.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On second down, Rosen. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. Third down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that.
Right,
Yeah,
now,
there was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. On 3rd and 1, Rosen lets it fly for Thielen. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll try and run down some clock with Johnson. And he's got some space here. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down if they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up. That'd be the time to do it.
Still fighting for more. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
And that's the type of run that they're looking for, because they'll need to continue to rely on him to move the sticks in this tight game in order to preserve this lead.
They'll run it now with Pumphrey. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll look to throw. And his first throw since coming in is incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Detroit!
He'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. The Vikings on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Hard throw, incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Down 4 late. Got to go for it here on 4th down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone!
And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. That one looks like he'll throw here. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
And the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. And Gold is able to put it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Now, from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. He's back to throw. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
Here's Rosen. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. Rosen to throw. And it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute, and they're an extra point away from tying this game. And now a critical extra point attempt here. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Oh, good footwork on the spin. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. Now it's the backup Stafford. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Now it's Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Stafford. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing, because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far.
Hey, 51 is down. 51 is down.
First throw in overtime for Stafford. Got a man on the right sideline. That's Cole. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A first down carry here for Johnson. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially an overtime win. That can give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward, and it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off, but in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
He'll look to throw. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. The Lions on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. This is caught inside the 15. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down. Explosion plays always break the back of a defense, and overtime to put him in the red zone, that was huge.
I like your description there because when you get an explosion play, now people are really scrambling on defense. Now they're looking to each other. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make the play? Offensive guys have the momentum. Now they're in the red zone. They've got to be thinking attack, trying to get it into the end zone.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he is